And good morning, everybody. It is Wonderful Wednesday with Cormac Colleran. Now, Cormac, I have never met you before, and I'm looking forward to meeting you in person at the Irish Hypnotherapy Conference,
Likewise,
which is in Dublin, and it's the 4th and 5th, is it, or is it the 5th and 6th?
5th and 6th of April.
5th and 6th of April. So I'm looking forward to meeting you there in person. However, I can see it says here you specialize with addiction. So that is fascinating. Okay, so Cormac, you're going to have to tell me more about this. How did you get into that? What's the story behind that?
I specialize, I suppose, even more specifically in cocaine addiction. And what I've noticed, so I'm based in Dublin, and I'm based in South Dublin. I'm based in an area where it's a little bit more affluent than other parts of the city or other parts of Ireland. So people have money, but cocaine is also in there too.
Okay.
And I've noticed, especially since the pandemic, since lockdowns and all that, that now people that used to take cocaine when they were going out and partying started taking it at home. And they're now at a stage, like a lot of my clients, they're not the younger partying cohort that you would imagine. They're more like 30s, 40s, 50s. And it's like the tide has gone out, but they're left with their problem. And what I mean by that is like all the reasons and the times and places and situations they used to use it, they're not doing that anymore, but they're still stuck with the drug.
Okay.
And
yeah,
so I've seen a lot of people come into me just devastated by it. That are spending like hundreds, maybe some people thousands of euro each week on the drug.
Wow. So they never quite grew out of it.
Never quite grew out of it, yeah. And lots of people do, but some people don't, and they can't find a way. They feel trapped in it. So I suppose through necessity, I started to offer my services to that group. And I started, what I realized was typically people would go to Narcotics Anonymous, or they might go to drug counseling. The people I'm working with, they're telling me I don't have time for that. I don't want to tell other people. I don't want to be in a group of people. I want it private. I want something to happen quickly. I don't want to go and speak to a counselor for months and months. And so when I realized that there was a strong demand there, I started to send my message towards that area in terms of my videos and TikToks and social media, to actually tell them that there's help out there for them, and that it's easier than they might have imagined.
Yeah, there is, because the mind is a powerful thing. They've all hypnotized themselves with this little white powder.
100%. And sometimes I tell them, Claudia, that what we're looking to do is dehypnotize you, because that thought that creeps into their head is like once they get the thought, and sometimes it's weekend users, and they get the thought around lunchtime on a Friday, I'm gonna get some, and that's it. Maybe they've told themselves I won't, but the thought goes into their head. Eventually they're on their phone, they're sending someone a message, they're collecting a bag of it, or it's dropped around to their house, and it happens in like 20 minutes.
Oh yeah.
And so it's that space that I tell them that we're looking to dehypnotize them out of, because that's a trance in itself.
It is. It's so true. I agree. Because the willpower bit of the conscious mind is so difficult. It's the greater part that they're trying to battle with, and it will win, because it wants it always wants a positive. It wants to look after you. It's a protector, and and for some, I hear it so often. It's the biggest hug they ever get with the drugs. And it makes them feel better. So that's what you're battling with.
That's it. And actually, I find it very important to explain that to the client as well, that there's a reason that they're stuck in it. They're as you know, anytime there's any unwanted thought or feeling behavior, we know the subconscious mind is doing it for some reason. Some kind of the intention may be positive. And when someone is in your clinic and you're explaining to them that their subconscious mind is not doing this to harm them, that it has a positive intention. So I use intention versus strategy. The intention is that the intention is to change how you feel in any single moment. It's escapism, perhaps. And that's a positive intent by itself. It's just the strategy of using cocaine to achieve that attention is all wrong. To achieve that intention. And we'll see it's the very same with something like anxiety. Intention is protection.
Yeah, same with depression.
The strategy of using like a tense body to achieve that is wrong.
Yeah.
So when someone understands that the intention there is positive, you can kind of see them relaxing a little bit, and the processing in their mind that this guy might be able to help me here.
Yeah, because you're understanding it.
Yeah. Understanding and sharing that understanding with them.
And reframing that whole thing around it so that they're looking at it from a different, suddenly you've literally done that with it. And they're going, oh, okay. Now let's open up that, as we know, that reticulating activating system. What can you do now? It's open. And then in that lovely middle bit, the biggest part of us, that's what subconscious, unconscious mind, whether it's real or imagined, that can be, there's change in there somehow. I mean, I know not everybody believes in those words, but whatever it is, it's the greater bit of us that we all go to that protects us. I love it. I love that. Yeah. You and I are just speaking on the same. Yeah. We wouldn't even need to speak, Cormac, because we would just know that we're both saying something.
Yes.
We would do it by osmosis. I love that. So tell me a little bit more about how did you get into hypnosis and you're living in Dublin and
I am, and I have a background in medical device and pharmaceuticals.
Okay.
And it was, I said to people, they're highly regulated industries. One of the big principles in there is continuous improvement. And so I used to be working in continuous improvement of processes, and now I'm working in continuous improvement of people. I knew those industries weren't for me. And so I left about, maybe 2007 or 2008, and I decided that I was going to do a diploma in coaching. So I got my qualification in coaching, and I started coaching. One of the things I noticed that was a bit frustrating is that we'll set goals, we'll set milestones, we'll identify obstacles, figure out a way around them. We've got a lovely, clear path for someone to make the changes they want to make. But then you might find there was inertia. And that led me to wondering what could stop someone from doing this thing that's clearly good for them to do. That led me to understanding the subconscious mind. And as anyone who's listening to this here and now probably knows, once you go down that rabbit hole, you go right into it. And so it led me to studying NLP and hypnotherapy. Just to become a better coach.
To become a better coach. The hypnosis absolutely is brilliant for therapists to do, coaches to do, because it's a tool. It is a tool. It's not the only tool. It is a tool. It's one that I use, but it's not the only thing I do as well. So I use so many other different aspects. And I agree. I think all hypnotists as well might like to understand the coaching bit of it, because actually, how can people make change when they're not actually aware that they're not, that there is change needs to be taken place. So that's what I do when I train the emotional intelligence part of it, or my version of it within my process, because we can only manage what we can acknowledge. And that's what you have just said when you told those people about the cocaine. Oh, the light bulb moment. Oh, and then you literally, and then they're wide open for change.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, and that eventually kind of led me into just promoting myself as a hypnotherapist more than a coach. And
you went more that way.
yeah. And so that's, I don't know, maybe it's over 15 years now, 15, 16 years or something.
I love it.
And
it's addictive.
It is. So with all of those years of experience, then I decided I need to start to codify some of the work that I do. Again, people will know when you're working away in your own clinic, you come up with things through trial and error, and when you've got lots of clients, that happens quicker. And so I have been working then on so you'll see there the ICANN transformation protocol.
Yes, tell us more.
Yes, so this is so I'm really looking forward to speaking about it at the Irish Hypnotherapy Conference.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, it's a protocol, Claudia, that I've started to use. I'm guessing if I look back 7-8 years now, that I evolved in my practice, and I didn't set out to create it.
Okay.
It just happened and it evolved. And then, like, after a good few years, I realized, I've got a system here. I need to, and it works really well, and it's creating amazing transformation for people. And I decided, well, I need to figure out, how could I teach that to somebody? How can I codify it and teach it so people can use it? And it's wonderful, because if you're a beginner hypnotherapist, you can use it. I'm quite an experienced hypnotherapist, and I use it every day. I use it pretty much for every client I see.
Yeah.
This protocol, I use this as part of, I'll use a few other ones as well, but this is one that I use as the main part of my session. And so,
what is the ICANN? Because people will be interested. Yes. What does that stand for?
So the I is simply, so there's an induction. And people can use whatever kind of induction they like. I've developed one as well that it kind of nearly, it leaves them no way out. It just practically forces them into hypnosis for you in a really nice way. So the C is, so we'll do an induction, and I'll typically then use like a staircase deepener, and I'll bring them down to, the C is a corridor. So this idea of a corridor or a tunnel that goes from one place to another place, and we emerge out of this other place. The subconscious mind likes that for transformation. The corridor is called the corridor of transformation.
Okay.
So when you're forming trance, you're transforming also. And I like to play with words and put a little confusion in there to let them understand now you're transforming. And so very briefly, without giving it all away, but I'll give it away to you, Claudia, and your listeners. So the corridor has a space where there's future pacing, so they can see like screens, and on these screens you can see yourself in this future, in this new chapter in your life. So we start a little bit of future pacing there. We also tell them that when they get to the end of the corridor, they'll be in that new chapter of their lives. But I also say, but not yet. So it just kind of frustrates the response a little bit, but it makes them want it, You can have it, but not yet. It's like, I've got small children. I know how to say those things to them. And I know if I say to them, but not yet, I want it now. So the corridor is for future pacing and visualizing and getting a sense of the change that is going to happen. So we get them to look at yourself specifically, see yourself on next week. Mm-hmm. See yourself, notice what it is specifically about you that lets you know you're content, you're happy.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. I get that. I understand that.
Yeah. And so that's the corridor. And then the two A's, one. So I asked the subconscious mind to go inside. This is regression-free protocol. So they're running a pattern, whether that pattern is smoking, whether that pattern is taking cocaine, whether that pattern is anxiety. They're running a pattern. There's roots to the pattern. The subconscious mind is responding to it. So there's a trigger response. So the subconscious mind knows the roots, even if we don't consciously or the client doesn't. So we'll ask the subconscious mind to go inside and to clean it out from the roots. And what I normally do is the A is for an arm. So I put an arm into the air and let it just kind of be there, cataleptic for a while. And then I will suggest that the cleaning out of that pattern and the releasing of that pattern is happening in conjunction with the arm making its way back down.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can do it with the arm going up, the arm going down. It's easier, especially for beginners, to have put it up there and let it go down. So that also works as a brilliant convincer for your clients.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because sometimes the first thing they'll say when the session is over, they go, "Oh my God, my arm was there.
I know, it's doing that. You just lock that into place.
Yeah. And so it works as a great convincer, and it occupies them as the subconscious mind is doing the work that we ask it to do. And the second A is for amnesia.
Okay.
So we're suggesting that you forget the pattern.
Oh.
And this is great. Like, think about working with a smoker. So 20 times a day, they finish a meal, they have to have a cigarette. They get into their car, they have to have a cigarette. They have to feel a bit stressed, they have a cigarette. The coffee, have a cigarette. So the brain is consistently reminding them. They don't need to put smoke onto their to-do list for the day. It's automatically reminding them. So we can suggest that automatic part can automatically forget rather than remind. And we pace forgetting. So we'll tell them you could forget a name that someone just told you. You could be in your house and you're going to your bedroom. There's something there that you're going to get, and you know exactly what you're going in for, but then it's gone. And you've forgotten it. And again, I love kind of using language like remembering to forget what you're forgetting to remember. And
confusion. Yeah. And it's true, because I often go upstairs and forget. So you're reminding people that they forget what they go upstairs to forget for. And so because they can do that, they can naturally easily forget that they do this as well. Exactly. So saying that and saying it, and it's like, what? But the subconscious mind gets it and goes, yeah, I'm forgetting that as well. Like I often forget other things. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
We're showing them that the skill that's required to help them here, it's already there in you. You already do it all the time.
You already do it all the time. So Oh, I like it. Okay.
And if you're you can use this for a phobia as well. So you could, and in this part, you could suggest you've had other fears that you've let go when you were a little child. There will certainly have been times you would have been afraid of being alone, away from your mom and dad. You may have been afraid of the dark at times. You may have been afraid of a monster under your bed. All these little things that we can suggest, but that's so far away that you've forgotten you ever had it. And these are things that pretty much anyone can agree with, especially when we use software language to present it.
Nodding their head, they're agreeing with you. You've got compliance, and then they're going, I remember that. I had to learn how not to be, so I can also learn how not to take cocaine or smoke or be fearful of this other thing. Okay, I understand.
And the N is for the new chapter. So eventually now they do get to the end of the corridor, and I like to suggest big doors opening wide, and give them a sign saying freedom above the door. Sometimes we change that depending on what exactly they're coming in for, but freedom, get them to hold them there for a moment to feel what that means.
Okay, nice.
And feel it in your body. And we can use nice, clever language like, I don't know how you might feel that freedom in your body right now. Or I don't even know where in your body you can feel that freedom right now. And we give them those embedded commands. And it's just a nice little way, isn't it, of giving them those commands. And then they move out into this new chapter in their lives. And that's another kind of future pacing and visualizing and seeing yourself there and stepping into that and stepping in with power and confidence.
Yeah, it's so powerful. It just isn't all the NLP. I mean, I'm literally sitting here going, I remember. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
You've got a training on. You've got a training on. Is it this weekend?
I have a training on this weekend. It is on in Dublin and online. We have people tuning in from pretty much all over the world.
So how many hours is it?
So it is from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m.
Okay.
each day, Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
That's Dublin time, which is the same as London time, as GMT.
Yeah. So on the Eastern time here, 5 hours behind you. So it would be 5 o'clock in the morning for people to get up for 10 a.m. But people do it. People are.
We have lots. We have people on East Coast, West Coast. We have Australia, New Zealand. We have Canada. Yeah, of course.
Are you recording it?
Yes.
Or is it live? You have to be live.
You can. We have lots of people that are going to do it, but they can't do it live. They've told us they won't be able to do it live, but they will get the recording and they'll get the manual. And we've got a few more nice little hypnosis bonuses for people as well.
Nice.
Even well, I'll share one of the cool ones. That's how you can create a press release. Well, actually, it's a press release created for you so that you can speak to your local press or your national media. What I've noticed here in Ireland, and in fact, in most countries, cocaine is a big topic in terms of in media, in newspapers. So I've had feature articles written about the work that I do on the main Sunday papers here. And once you can, for your practice, once you can start leveraging things like mass media, newspapers, it gives you more authority as well.
Yeah.
People want to hear. Yeah. People want to hear what you have to say. So that's one of the little bonuses we'll be given. There's a few other ones that I'm not going to spoil the surprise just yet.
Of course not. But we'll have your links in the comments, won't we? So that people can check it out.
Yeah.
And if not, I'm sure you'll do it again at some point.
Yeah.
It's not a one and only. But yeah, sign up now if they want to get these because if it's that good, the price.
It's the first time that I'm running this training. Also, as far as I'm aware, now I can stand to be corrected, but as far as I'm aware, I'm the only person that's running a training course specifically around cocaine addiction.
Right.
I can stand corrected. There's no one that I know of in Europe or the US currently doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I suppose one of the big things is the people that are going to be your clients, they're not haggling on price with you. They're going to pay you what you ask for because they're already spending so much on that problem.
Oh, absolutely.
They're quite happy to pay for the solution.
You're saving lives.
Yeah.
You know, and families' lives.
And this is the big thing. Because I notice people, the children are gone to bed and they're taking it off the coffee table and in the living room, and it destroys them. Like it even emotionally destroys them that they're doing that they feel that trapped.
Yeah, and then of course I'm all about that with families, with the bunny talk process. So it's it's about having emotionally intelligent families, parents, so that they can help that. So actually, you're quite right. If there's a cocaine issue in that, then that needs to be addressed. Yeah. So it's quite interesting how there's a whole, everything all melds together.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's about creating the best that people can be. The best version of themselves. How will your future self thank you for the actions you take today?
Yes.
And will you invest in yourself? Will you invest with Cormac? Will you invest in me? Will you invest in both of us?
Yeah, absolutely.
and help people. Yeah. So absolutely. I look forward to seeing it. I hope we're not speaking at the same time.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I'm on Saturday morning at about 11 a.m.
Okay, you might be just after me. I'm at 10.
I didn't. Yeah, your name isn't on the.
I'm showcasing the bunny talk process. I just did it just recently at the Winter Hypnosis Conference in Las Vegas. I will actually be doing it again, and
I certainly look forward to it.
Yeah, it is so exciting. So I look forward to meeting you. I'm meeting so many other people. Because I've never been to Dublin. I know I'm English, but I went to Ireland.
There's so many. I would think there's lots of fantastic speakers, of course, and that's going to be really exciting. For those that want to are interested in building their business and taking it to the next level, I'm convinced being at conferences is what you need to do.
Oh,
going places, meeting people, being there. It opens up so many doors, so many avenues. I went last year to the one in Dublin, and the amount of people I met there, lots of them are called good friends now. Some of them are business partners. I got 2 wonderful business partners out of it, that have really elevated my business personally from the kind of one-to-one with clients to a whole new level in terms of training and online programs. And so I'm certainly a convert for these conferences, and I would recommend to people, if they want to take their business to the next levels, you got to show your face, go to these places.
Yeah, I agree. It's the hypnosis community. It's just so loving, and the energy is just like this world. So no, I'm excited to meet you, Cormac. Thank you for coming on here and sharing your wonderful protocol. So, and it's wonderful. So thank you for watching, everybody. And those of you who are going to Ireland, I encourage people to go to the Irish Hypnotherapy Conference if you're just sort of still thinking about it. And those of you who are already going, I look forward to meeting you there. And I'm sure Cormac does as well. So
absolutely.
Thank you for watching. And it's goodbye from me, Claudia Rickard, and it's goodbye from
Cormac Colleran. Thank you.